the canyonlands of the American West remain among the most inaccessible regions in the 48 mainland states. Throughout the 19th century, surveyors, miners and homesteaders tried to map, claim or cross them. Most failed. The unstable ground, scarce water and high elevation made building nearly impossible. Today, much of it remains remote, but not forgotten. In Oregon, the Owyhee Canyonlands hold cliffs and canyons carved by ancient lava flows and seasonal floodwaters. In New Mexico, the Gila cliff dwellings rest within a rock face built by the Mogollon people more than 700 years ago. And in Colorado, the Dolores River Canyon twists through redstone country, its walls narrowing as the river cuts through layered terrain. Join us on a journey through the canyonlands of the American West. Places so extraordinary that you'll wonder why no one ever told you about them before. Bryce Canyon National Park covers 56 square miles and is known for its unique rock formations, high elevation plateaus, and red rock spires. Despite its name, Bryce Canyon is not a canyon, but a series of natural amphitheatres formed along the eastern edge of the Paunsaugunt Plateau. Designated as a national park in 1928, the park's elevation ranges from 6,600 to 9,100 feet, making it one of the highest national parks in the region. The area experiences over 200 freeze-thaw cycles per year, which cause water to seep into cracks, freeze and expand, gradually breaking apart the rock and shaping the landscape. Early indigenous groups, including the Paiute people, lived in the area and passed down oral histories describing the strange rock formations as legend people turned to stone by the trickster god Coyote. European settlers arrived in the mid-19th century, and the park was named after Ebenezer Bryce, a homesteader who built a road into the canyon for logging. The park is notably home to thousands of hoodoos, with specific areas named according to their physical traits, such as the Cathedral, which is a cluster of towering hoodoos that resemble the spires of a Gothic church. Then there is the iconic Bryce Amphitheatre, the largest and most well-known amphitheatre in the park, stretching 12 miles wide and 800 feet deep. It contains the highest concentration of hoodoos in Bryce Canyon and changes colour throughout the day with orange, red and white hues. Another one of the most recognizable hoodoos in the park is Thor's Hammer, which consists of a large, blocky caprock balanced on a thin rock pedestal. The capstone is made of a harder rock layer, while the lower portion erodes faster, creating a distinctive hammer shape. Walk through park at dawn, and you might see a mule deer standing still among the pines. They are named for their large, mule-like ears, which help them detect predators. Interestingly, males grow branched antlers that are shed and regrow each year. At the beginning of their life, fawns are born with tiny white spots sprinkled on their back, a built-in hiding trick that breaks up their shape in tall grass. A mother often leaves her baby tucked under a bush while she feeds nearby, but the fawn stays hidden and quiet, waiting for its mother to return. In summer, they wear a reddish-brown coat that matches the dusty trails and dry grass. But when the cold rolls in, they swap that coat for a greyish one, thicker and warmer. So even when snow covers the canyon, they're ready. While the mule deer keep to the ground, up above, the peregrine falcon rules the sky. The fastest bird on Earth, it is capable of diving at over 200 miles per hour to catch another bird in mid-air with its sharp talons and fly away with its meal. The falcons have incredible eyes, about 8 times sharper than a human's. When they dive, they close a clear cover over their eyes like tiny goggles, so the wind doesn't hurt them. They don't build stick nests like other birds. After finding a safe spot high on a cliff ledge, they scratch a small hole in the dirt or rock and lay their eggs there. In the 1950s and 60s, chemicals like DDT almost wiped peregrine falcons out. People stepped in, banned the chemicals, and helped them return, proving that nature can recover if we care. Away in the open fields, the prairie dogs are very busy digging big tunnels underground where they sleep, hide, and raise their babies. They live in groups called towns. One town can have hundreds of prairie dogs all looking out for danger. When a hawk or coyote comes close, One of them stands up and gives a sharp bark. In seconds, they all run and disappear into their tunnels. They greet each other with a kiss. They touch their front teeth together to say hello and check if they know each other. The dogs eat grass and flowers. By clipping plants and turning the soil, they help keep the meadows healthy for other animals too. Goblin Valley State Park is known for its unusual rock formations that resemble small, squat figures, often compared to goblins. In the early 20th century, cowboys exploring the region reported the strange formations, but the area remained largely unknown until a few decades later when it was officially documented. The valley became a protected park in 1964, preserving its unique geological landscape. In 1999, scenes from Galaxy Quest were filmed in the park, using the terrain to depict an alien world. The rock formations in Goblin Valley are classified as hoodoos, which are tall, thin spires of rock with a larger capstone on top. The formations range in height from a few inches to over 20 feet and are scattered throughout the valley. Hoodoos form when harder rock sits above softer sandstone, allowing the pillars to maintain their shape for thousands of years. Without the capstones, the softer rock would erode much faster, eventually reducing the hoodoos to small mounds. Glenwood Canyon is a natural formation carved by the Colorado River over millions of years. Spanning 20 kilometers, it is one of the deepest and most scenic canyons in the region. The canyon's vertical cliffs expose layers of limestone, sandstone and shale, offering a geological history dating back over 300 million years. The Colorado River flows through the canyon, providing opportunities for activities like whitewater rafting and kayaking. Sedona is a region characterized by sandstone formations, including cliffs, buttes, and canyons. The red rocks of Sedona are part of the Colorado Plateau, a vast geological region that spans several states. The region was named after Sedona Arabella Miller Schneebly, the wife of Theodore Carleton Schneebly, who was one of the early settlers in the area. She was known for her hospitality and community involvement, and the name suggestion came from Schneebly's brother, since it was a unique name that would be easy to remember. It is also well associated with spiritual and wellness practice, often cited as having energy vortexes, which are believed to be centres of spiritual power. This has made Sedona a destination for those interested in meditation, yoga, and alternative healing practices. Red Rock State Park covers about 115 hectares, consisting of canyons, mesas, and riparian areas along Oak Creek. The area was originally used for ranching and farming, with homesteaders relying on the creek as a water source for crops and livestock. The land was owned by Jack Fry, a former president of Trans World Airlines TWA, who planned to build a luxury retreat in the area. It was later designated as a protected area to preserve the local ecosystem. Since water sources are scarce in the desert, the park maintains man-made ponds to provide water for animals and support plant life. To also preserve dark sky conditions, the park has strict regulations on artificial lighting, making it a good location for stargazing and astronomy events. Bell Rock is a red sandstone butte, rising to an elevation of 1,500 metres above sea level. The formation gets its name from its rounded, bell-like shape, composed primarily of Schneebly Hill sandstone, with distinct horizontal layers visible along its slopes. Native groups used Bell Rock as a landmark for navigation, and evidence of early habitation, such as rock carvings and artifacts, has been found in nearby areas. Due to its accessibility and distinctive shape, it is one of the most photographed formations in the area. Cathedral Rock is a sandstone formation with steep vertical spires, reaching an elevation of 1,500 meters. It is one of the most recognized rock formations in the region, primarily composed of Schneebly Hill sandstone, which formed from ancient sand dunes compacted into rock layers. Early settlers referred to the formation as Court Rock, but the name Cathedral Rock was chosen due to its resemblance to a church cathedral. Unlike traditional hiking trails, reaching the saddle of Cathedral Rock requires sections of hands and feet climbing, making it more of a rock scramble than a simple walk. Interestingly, the scenic backdrop of Cathedral Rock has made it a frequent wedding and elopement spot. Visitors also often leave behind stacked rock formations, also known as cairns, near the base of Cathedral Rock as part of a personal ritual or spiritual practice. Within the forest stands the Gila Cliff Dwellings National Monument, which preserves ancient Mogollon cliff dwellings from the 13th century. There were up to 40 rooms built inside 5 limestone caves by 1280, with the Mogollon people using local stone and mortar to construct the walls. Rising sharply from the high desert, Smith Rock is marked by sheer cliffs of volcanic tuff and basalt. Meanwhile, the park itself is known for its other geological features, such as spires and canyon walls formed from ancient volcanic activity. It is considered one of the birthplaces of modern sport climbing and draws climbers from around the world. Hikers traverse trails weaving through sagebrush to viewpoints overlooking the park's jagged skyline. Meanwhile, climbers test endurance on over 2,000 routes, from beginner cracks to overhanging test pieces. Valley of Fire State Park is the oldest and largest state park in Nevada, known for its striking red sandstone formations, which date back over 150 million years. The park's name comes from the vibrant red hues of the rocks, which appear to glow like fire in the sunlight. It also features areas of grey and tan sandstone, such as the White Dome's Slot Canyon. The park offers a range of recreational activities, including hiking, camping, and photography. It has over 40 miles of hiking trails, ranging from easy walks to more challenging routes. Evidence of the ancestral Puebloans' presence, such as petroglyphs and artifacts, can be found throughout the park. The fire wave is one of the park's most photographed features. This unique formation consists of undulating bands of red, white and pink sandstone, resembling a wave frozen in stone. It is accessible via a 1.5-mile round-trip hike, which takes visitors through a desert landscape to the formation. Atlatl Rock is a prominent sandstone formation known for its well-preserved petroglyphs. The rock features carvings of animals, human figures, and geometric patterns created by indigenous people over 1,000 years ago. A staircase allows access to visitors to view the petroglyphs up close. The honeycomb and beehive formations are other examples of the park's unique sandstone structures. These formations are characterized by their pockmarked surfaces created by wind and water erosion. The beehive formation, in particular, resembles a beehive due to its rounded shape and textured surface. The park is filled with a variety of other rock formations, including arches, canyons and balanced rocks. Notable features include the cabins, structures which were built by the Civilian Conservation Corps in the 1930s using native sandstone block, and Elephant Rock, a natural sandstone formation that resembles an elephant. Historically, the cabins were constructed to provide shelter for travellers and workers in the remote desert area, strategically located near a natural water source. Meanwhile, the Elephant Rock was formed due to the softer sandstone layers eroding faster than the harder layers, creating a distinctive elephant-like shape. Fantasy Canyon is known for its unusual and delicate rock formations, composed of fine-grained sandstone deposited approximately 50 million years ago, when the region was covered by a vast lake system. Many formations have been given names based on their shapes, including the Teapot and Alien Head. These structures are extremely fragile, with some collapsing over time due to natural weathering. They also contain high amounts of iron, which gives them a dark brown or reddish colour. The area has also yielded fossilised fish and plant remains, providing evidence of ancient ecosystems that once thrived in the region. Vermillion Cliffs National Monument is a vast remote area renowned for its dramatic red rock formations and slot canyons. The National Monument is also known for its role in wildlife conservation, as the area is part of a program to reintroduce one of the world's most endangered birds back into the wild. Rising dramatically along the Arizona-Utah border, the Vermillion Cliffs are a striking geological formation characterized by their steep, red-hued sandstone cliffs. Iconic for their vibrant red and orange colours, they rise up to 900 metres above the surrounding landscape. The Vermillion Cliffs are composed primarily of Navajo sandstone, which dates back to the Jurassic period, around 190 million years ago. Another notable feature within the monument is the White Pocket, a small, isolated area known for its intricate and colourful rock patterns. The White Pocket's swirling, cross-bedded sandstone formations are the result of ancient sand dunes that were compacted. The area's white, red and pink hues create a visually striking contrast with the surrounding landscape. Visitors to the White Pocket must obtain permits, as the area is managed to minimise human impact and protect its fragile ecosystems. Red Rocks Park is a natural and cultural landmark, known for its remarkable sandstone rock formations. Formed during the Pennsylvanian period, the reddish hue of the rocks is due to the presence of iron oxide, and the formations are part of the Fountain Formation, a geologic layer that extends across the region. It is also home to an iconic open-air amphitheatre that was carved into these formations. Opened in 1941, the amphitheatre has become a world-famous venue for concerts and events. Its acoustics, enhanced by the surrounding rocks, are often described as near perfect, attracting performers and audiences from around the globe. the amphitheatre has hosted a wide range of artists, from the Beatles in 1964 to contemporary bands such as American pop band AJR. Stretching from the San Juan Mountains to the Gulf of Mexico is the Rio Grande, one of the longest rivers in North America. The river's course follows the Rio Grande Rift, a tectonic boundary widening 0.1 inches yearly. Its flow averages 1,900 cubic feet per second near Albuquerque, but dwindles to zero in dry stretches due to irrigation demands. Over 80% of the river's water is diverted for agriculture, leaving sections dry for up to 200 days yearly. The Rio Grande Gorge, a deep canyon carved by the Rio Grande, reaches depths of 800 feet near Taos. Notably in 1933, the Civilian Conservation Corps built trails into the gorge, though they were later abandoned due to erosion. Local Puebloan legends describe a sipapu, meaning emergency hole, near the gorge, though it was never officially founded or recorded. Today, the gorge draws 300,000 visitors annually, with strict no-rescue policies for unprepared hikers. Completed in 1965, the Rio Grande Gorge Bridge spans across the canyon. Its steel deck arch design rises 650 feet above the river, making it the fifth highest bridge in the US. Construction required 4,200 tons of steel anchored into bedrock to withstand 100 miles per hour winds. Narrow sidewalks flank the roadway with no emergency lanes. Rio Grande is one of the bald eagle's winter homes. They come here when the river stays open and the fish keep moving under the ice. America's national birds, these eagles build some of the biggest nests in the bird world. One nest can be over 6 feet wide, and each year the same pair comes back to the same nest. Bald eagles can lock their claws onto prey and won't let go, even if they get pulled underwater. They are strong enough to swim back to shore while dragging a heavy fish. Young bald eagles don't have that famous white head right away. They're all brown, taking about 5 years for their white head and tail feathers to grow in, a clear sign they're full adults. Grand Canyon National Park covers over 4,900 square kilometres, with the canyon stretching for 446 kilometres in length. The canyon walls reveal horizontal rock strata, each layer representing different geological periods. The oldest rocks found at the bottom are Vishnu schist, estimated to be 1.7 to 2 billion years old. Above these layers are younger formations that were deposited by ancient seas, rivers and wind-blown sand dunes. Due to the difference in elevation, the canyon creates localised weather patterns, with sudden storms, snow at the rim, and sunshine at the bottom, all occurring on the same day. Interestingly, Spanish explorers first reached the canyon in the 16th century, but dismissed it as an impassable wasteland. The North Rim sits at an elevation of 2,438 metres, and its increased elevation results in cooler temperatures, heavier snowfall, and denser forests. Winter snowfall averages 3 to 4 metres per year, causing the seasonal closure of roads and facilities from mid-October to mid-May. Due to its remote location, the North Rim receives only 10% of the park's total visitors, making it much less crowded than its southern counterpart. Roads leading to the area are limited, with the nearest major highway being over 70 kilometres away. However, this helps it offer a quieter and more secluded experience for visitors who would like to soak in the stunning vistas. The prairie rattlesnake is one of the largest and most widespread rattlesnake species in the region, reaching lengths of up to 1.5 metres. This rattlesnake is ambush-based, waiting near rodent burrows, rocky ledges, and shaded areas for prey to approach, while it disguises easily with its background. It primarily feeds on small mammals, birds, lizards and insects, using venom to immobilize prey before swallowing it whole. The rattle at the end of its tail is made of keratin, the same material as human fingernails. Each time the snake sheds its skin, a new segment is added to the rattle. The snake vibrates its rattle as a warning signal to deter predators, although younger snakes with smaller rattles are often quieter. The South Rim is the most accessible and visited section of Grand Canyon National Park. The rim is made of Kaibab limestone, a rock layer deposited by an ancient sea around 270 million years ago. Temperatures at the South Rim remain cooler than the inner canyon, with winter snowfall accumulating between 1 to 2 meters per year. The red-tailed hawk is one of the most common but majestic raptors found in Grand Canyon National Park. These hawks are often seen soaring over the canyon, using thermal updrafts to glide without flapping their wings. Red-tailed hawks hunt by circling high above open areas, scanning for prey with their incredible vision, which is 8 times sharper than a human's. Once they spot prey, they dive at speeds of up to 190 kilometers per hour, using their sharp talons to capture and kill their target. Bison in Grand Canyon are part of a hybrid herd originally introduced in the early 1900s as a result of crossbreeding between cattle and wild bison. The herd was established on the Kaibab Plateau, where they have since adapted to the region's high elevation forests and meadows. They are the largest land mammals in the park, with males weighing up to 900 kilograms and standing over 1.8 meters tall at the shoulder. They have thick, shaggy fur, large curved horns, and a hump of muscle over their shoulders, which helps them power through deep snow and rough terrain. Despite their massive size, bison can run up to 55 kilometers per hour and are capable of jumping over 1.5 meter fences or obstacles. There are current efforts to manage the bison population that include relocation programs and controlled culling, as their numbers have increased beyond what the environment can sustain. When the bison move through the meadows, the elk come out of the trees to graze in the same open fields. They are part of the deer family, but a much bigger, stronger, tougher species that can handle hot summers and snowy winters. Only male elk, called bulls, grow antlers. They start growing them in spring and keep them through the fall. Each year, bulls drop their antlers in late winter and grow new, bigger ones the next year. Every fall, when the mating season begins, the males are using their antlers and loud bugles to fight other bulls and show strength. Sometimes they fight head-to-head to win a group of females, called cows. Elk are the largest deer in Grand Canyon National Park and help keep the grasslands and forests alive. The Owyhee Canyonlands sit in Oregon's far southeast corner. This huge place has wide open deserts, deep canyons, sharp cliffs and winding rivers. Some call it Oregon's Grand Canyon because of its maze of canyons and colourful rock walls. One of the canyon's quiet hunters is the bobcat. Usually living in rocky canyons, sagebrush flats and hidden gullies, they are hard to spot because they move mostly at dawn or dusk and blend in with the dry land. A bobcat is about twice the size of a house cat. It has short spotted fur, pointed ears with black tufts, and a short, bobbed tail. That's how it got its name. Bobcats hunt alone, stalking slowly. Rabbits, birds, and small rodents, using their sharp claws and teeth to catch their prey. These felines may be shy and silent, but they're key hunters here, keeping small animal numbers in check, so the Owyhee stays balanced and wild. Other striking landmarks in the Elk Mountains are the castles, stone pillars that resemble medieval battlements. These towering spires of volcanic ash and rock were formed during a period of intense volcanic activity. Thus, they provide great insights into the volcanic history of the region and the forces of erosion that have shaped the landscape over the millennium. The castles can be best seen from Gila Pass, a high pass also situated within the mountain range. Petrified Forest National Park is known for its large deposits of fossilised trees, ancient rock formations, and preserved archaeological sites. Covering an area of 380 square kilometres, the park contains some of the best preserved Triassic-era fossils, which are over 200 million years old. Fossilised remains of prehistoric plants, amphibians, and early reptiles have been discovered in the park, giving insight into the ecosystems that existed long before dinosaurs dominated the planet. Archaeological evidence also shows that indigenous groups lived in the area for thousands of years, leaving behind petroglyphs, pottery, and tools. The surreal landscape notably consists of petrified wood and colourful badlands. In fact, the park contains one of the largest concentrations of petrified wood in the world. The fossilised logs were once towering conifer trees that lived during the late Triassic period. Volcanic ash and mineral-rich groundwater replaced the organic material with quartz, iron and manganese, turning the wood into stone over time. The petrified logs are found in various colours, including red, yellow, blue and purple, due to the different minerals present during fossilisation. Some logs measure up to 30 metres long, preserving growth rings, bark textures, and even internal structures. Scientists study the fossilised wood to understand past climates, tree species, and environmental conditions that existed when the area was part of a humid, subtropical forest. The Painted Desert is a section of the park known for its layered rock formations in shades of red, orange, pink and purple. These colours come from iron and manganese oxides within the rock layers. The desert stretches for over 370 kilometres, with eroded cliffs, mesas, and badlands shaped by wind and water. The landscape changes throughout the day as sunlight affects how the colours appear. The oldest layers contain fossils of ferns, early conifers, and prehistoric animals, providing evidence of how the environment has shifted over time. The Shiprock Formation is a volcanic neck, the hardened core of an ancient volcano, left standing after softer surrounding rock eroded away. The original volcano erupted roughly 30 million years ago, leaving behind fractured volcanic breccia and radiating rock dikes. The formation holds deep significance for the Navajo people, linked to stories of a great bird that brought their ancestors to the region. Out of respect for its cultural importance, climbing shiprock has been prohibited since 1970. In the 1800s, the site became a navigational marker for settlers and traders moving along the old Spanish Trail. While its Navajo name means the rock with wings, its English name derives from its resemblance to the tall, narrow clipper ships of that era. Cove Arch is a natural freestanding arch located near the base of Shiprock's southern slope. It is part of the same volcanic system as Shiprock, created after the original volcanic activity subsided. The site is also referenced in traditional stories, where it is said to have served as a shelter or gathering point. In the late 19th century, settlers documented the arch while surveying the area for mineral resources, though its remote location limited extensive exploration. Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument is a rugged wilderness area with slot canyons, cliffs and ancient fossils. It is known for its extensive fossil beds, which have produced fossils of dinosaurs, prehistoric fish, and ancient plant species. The monument's grand staircase consists of 5 massive rock layers, each representing different geological time periods, ranging from the Triassic to the Cretaceous period. Its surrounding area has some of the least light pollution in North America, making it one of the best places for stargazing and astronomical research. Roaming the canyons, cliffs and forests, but staying hidden most of the time, is the mountain lion. They need big open land because each lion can roam up to 100 square miles looking for food. Their strategy is to stalk quietly, then jump and grab their prey with strong jaws and paws, and they're strong enough to drag an animal twice their weight up steep slopes to keep it safe from other hunters. The mountain lions live alone. They mark their territory with scratches and scent to warn other lions to stay away. Many people visit the monument and never see one. That's why they're called ghost cats. Lower Calf Creek Falls is a 126-foot waterfall that flows year-round, fed by Calf Creek. The pool at the base of the waterfall remains cold, even in summer, due to continuous water flow. Peekaboo Slot Canyon is a narrow, winding canyon with sandstone walls as small as 16 inches wide. The canyon floor contains carved-out potholes created by flash floods that continue to shape the canyon over time. During flash floods, water rushes through the slot canyon, eroding rock and deepening the narrow channels. Devil's Garden is an area filled with hoodoos, arches, and rock formations made of Entrada sandstone. It remains relatively stable compared to other eroded landscapes, as the harder capstone layers protect the softer sandstone beneath. The Cosmic Ashtray, also known as the Red Break Sinkhole, is a large circular depression surrounded by a raised sandstone rim. The remote crater measures around 100 yards in diameter and contains a central sand dune, which shifts with the wind. The sand within the depression constantly shifts, creating changing patterns on the surface depending on wind direction and speed. Montezuma Castle stands as one of the best preserved cliff dwellings in North America and a remarkable example of indigenous architecture built by the Sinagua people around 1100 AD. This 5-story, 20-room structure was carved into a limestone cliff approximately 90 feet above the ground. Its name is a misnomer, as early European American settlers in the 1860s mistakenly attributed the site to the Aztecs and their emperor Montezuma. This assumption was incorrect, as the Sinagua abandoned the site long before Montezuma was born. Taos Pueblo, located in northern New Mexico, is an ancient Taos settlement that has been continuously inhabited for over 1,000 years. Its multi-story adobe buildings, some reaching 5 stories high, were built using clay, straw and water, with walls up to 3 feet thick. The Pueblo Revolt of 1680 was organised in part here, leading to the temporary expulsion of Spanish colonisers. Today, approximately 150 people live within the historic walls year-round, governed by a council that balances traditional and external legal systems. Traditional practices persist as there is no modern plumbing or electricity incorporated in the oldest buildings, with the community maintaining the adobe using ancestral methods. The San Rafael Swell is a rugged geological feature formed by an anticline uplift, where underground forces pushed rock layers upward, creating a massive dome-like structure. It contains numerous slot canyons, formed by flash floods over thousands of years. These narrow canyons, often just a few inches wide, but dropping tens of feet deep, create twisting passageways through the rock. Because of their constantly changing formations, the slot canyons serve as natural geological laboratories, allowing scientists to study erosion and sediment transport in real time as they continue to evolve. The area remains one of the least developed regions in the area, with few paved roads and limited infrastructure. The Mojave Desert is one of the largest deserts in its region, characterized by its arid climate, unique geological features, and diverse plant and animal life. The desert is infamous for its extreme temperatures, with summer highs often exceeding 100 degrees Fahrenheit and winter lows dropping below freezing. It receives less than 6 inches of rainfall annually, making water a scarce resource. Despite these harsh conditions, the Mojave supports a variety of life and ecosystems, as the Mojave and Chemehuevi tribes have lived in the region for thousands of years, relying on its resources for survival. The Mojave Desert Mesa is a prominent geological feature within the desert, distinguished by its flat-topped elevation and steep sides. Mesas are formed by the erosion of surrounding material, leaving behind a raised flat area. The flat top of the mesa is often covered with desert foliage, such as creosote bushes and yucca plants, while the steep sides of the mesa are more barren, with exposed rock and loose soil. South of the Golden West Wind Farm is the magnificent Painted Mines Interpretive Park, a geological and archaeological site known for its colourful clay formations and unique badland topography. The park features spires and eroded gorges formed over millions of years. The bright colours of the clay, ranging from white and yellow to pink and red, are caused by varying levels of oxidised iron and other minerals. Today, The park includes well-maintained trails with educational signs that display information on the park's geology, ecology, and human history. Glen Canyon National Recreation Area covers more than 1.25 million acres, featuring a landscape shaped by the flow of the Colorado River over millions of years. It was established to protect the region's natural and cultural resources while providing opportunities for outdoor activities such as boating, hiking, and fishing. The region is known for its deep canyons, towering sandstone formations, and extensive waterways, with the dam of the same name as a central feature. Some of the notable features within Glen Canyon National Recreation Area are the balanced rocks. These formations are large boulders perched precariously on narrow pedestals of rock, part of the Entrada sandstone. Early explorers, ranchers, and indigenous groups used these formations as navigation points, helping them locate water sources and safe routes through the desert. Certain balanced rocks in the area have been given names by explorers and local communities based on their shapes, such as Mushroom Rock and Teetering Rock. Access to the balanced rocks requires travel on unpaved roads or by boat, depending on the location. However, due to their delicate balance, many of the formations are off limits to climbers and visitors to prevent vibration damage that could speed up their collapse. The Colorado River, which flows through Glen Canyon, is a vital water source for the region. The Colorado River stretches from its headwaters in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado to its delta in Mexico, where it historically flowed into the Gulf of California. Today, due to water diversions, it rarely reaches the sea. Horseshoe Bend is a 270-degree meander in the Colorado River, located downstream from Glen Canyon Dam. The river curves sharply around a massive rock formation, creating a horseshoe-shaped bend. Unlike normal river bends that shift over time, Horseshoe Bend remains locked in place due to the deep rock layers and steady erosion rate. The cliffs surrounding the bend rise over 300 meters above the river, providing a clear view of the exposed rock layers that primarily consist of Navajo sandstone. Due to controlled water releases from Glen Canyon Dam, the Colorado River at Horseshoe Bend remains cold, averaging 8 to 10 degrees Celsius, even in summer. Great Basin National Park is located in a remote region named after the Great Basin, a large, arid region that spans much of the western United States. The basin is characterized by its unique hydrology, with rivers and streams that do not flow to the ocean, but instead drain into internal basins. The park is a popular destination for outdoor enthusiasts, offering opportunities for hiking, camping, and stargazing. It is also home to several unique geological and biological features, including Wheeler Peak, the Lehman Caves, and the ancient bristlecone pines. Wheeler Peak is the centerpiece of Great Basin National Park, standing at 13,063 feet. It is the second highest peak in the state, and a popular destination for hikers and climbers as its trail passes through alpine meadows, past glacial moraines, and along rocky ridges. The Lehman Caves is a marble cave system located in the park, first discovered in the late 19th century by Absalom Lehman, a rancher and miner. They were designated a national monument in 1922 and later incorporated into Great Basin National Park. Roxborough State Park is a geological and ecological treasure, dominated by dramatic red sandstone formations that are over 300 million years old. The park features archaeological evidence of human activity dating back thousands of years. Native American tribes, such as the Ute, once utilized the area for hunting and gathering, drawn by its abundant resources and natural shelter provided by the rock formations. It is also known for its fossil findings, as ancient plant and animal remains have been discovered in the area, offering insights into its prehistoric ecosystems. Vandalia National Monument is an area of volcanic tuff cliffs consisting of soft rock that allowed ancestral Puebloans to carve over 1,000 dwellings into them between the 12th and 16th centuries. However, they were eventually abandoned, according to Spanish colonial records from the 1540s, suggesting depopulation due to drought or resource strain. Today, the National Park Service collaborates with nearby pueblos to manage cultural resources, restricting access during ceremonies and protecting its cultural remnants. Nine Mile Canyon stretches for 40 miles, despite its name suggesting otherwise, and is known for its extensive collection of rock art. Often referred to as an outdoor museum, the canyon holds one of the highest concentrations of rock art in the region, with thousands of petroglyphs and pictographs covering the canyon walls. The canyon has been a travel route for thousands of years. Indigenous peoples used it for seasonal migrations, while explorers, fur trappers, and later settlers followed the same path. In the late 19th century, it became an important supply route for ranchers and early coal mining operations. The petroglyphs in 9 Mile Canyon date back over 1,000 years, created primarily by the Fremont people and later by the Ute people. These historic carvings were made by pecking or chiseling into the dark desert varnish on sandstone rock faces, revealing the lighter rock underneath. The Fremont rock art features human-like figures, often depicted with trapezoidal bodies, elaborate headdresses, and detailed jewellery. Some panels also show big-horned sheep, hunting scenes, and geometric designs. Hundreds of years later, the Ute people carved their own rock art into the same landscape. Their petroglyphs often feature horse and rider figures, depicting hunting scenes, warriors, and ceremonial symbols, which reflects their introduction to horses following European contact. Painted Hills is a well-known geological site located in the eastern section of the John Day fossil beds. It is distinguished by banded claystone layers in shades of red, gold, and black, caused by mineral deposits from shifting climates and volcanic activity. These colours change slightly depending on light and moisture levels, making the area appear different throughout the day and across seasons. Early settlers initially dismissed the hills as barren, but scientists later identified them as a key site for studying prehistoric ecosystems. Death Valley National Park is the largest national park in the contiguous region, located in a remote area that straddles the border of two states. It is one of the hottest and driest places, with summer temperatures often exceeding 120 degrees Fahrenheit and annual rainfall averaging less than 2 inches. The park's landscape is characterised by salt flats, sand dunes, rugged mountains, and colourful rock formations. Its name originates from a group of pioneers who became stranded in the valley during the winter of 1849 to 1850, and though only one member of the group died, the name Death Valley stuck. Mining operations, particularly for borax, became a significant industry in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The famous 20 mule teams were used to transport borax from the valley to railheads. The Amargosa Big Dune is one of the park's most striking features, as it includes some of the tallest dunes in the park, with heights reaching up to 100 feet. The dunes are composed of fine sand that has been blown and deposited by wind over thousands of years. Due to the soft sand and isolated environment, it is a popular spot for off-roading. The scenic highway in Death Valley National Park is a 36-mile road that provides access to some of the park's most notable features. The highway runs through a mixed landscape, including salt flats, sand dunes, and rugged mountains. Despite the arid climate, the highway has a long history of use, dating back to the early 20th century, when it was developed to provide access to the park's remote areas. The road is well maintained, but visitors are advised to carry plenty of water and be prepared for the harsh environment. Additionally, it is also used by researchers and scientists studying the park's geology, ecology, and climate. Pyramid Lake is the largest natural lake in its state, named for the pyramid-shaped rock formation, called the Stone Mother, located on its eastern shore. The lake is known for its clear blue waters and unique geological features, fed primarily by the Truckee River, which flows from Lake Tahoe. Pyramid Lake has no outlet, and its high salinity is due to the evaporation of water over thousands of years. It is of great cultural significance to the Paiute people, who have lived in the region for thousands of years. In fact, the Stone Mother is a central figure in Paiute legend, representing a mother who turned to stone while waiting for her children to return. Located on the Utah-Arizona border, Monument Valley Navajo Tribal Park is a stunning area composed of iconic red rock formations, such as the Mexican Hat Rock, named for its resemblance to an upside-down sombrero. The area has been home to the Navajo Nation for centuries, with evidence of earlier ancestral Puebloan settlements from over 1,000 years. However, in the 1860s, conflict arose between the Navajo and the US government, leading to the Long Walk of 1864, when thousands of Navajo were forcibly removed from their land and marched over 300 miles to a reservation in New Mexico. They were eventually allowed to return, and the land that includes Monument Valley became part of the Navajo Nation, which remains the largest indigenous territory in the US. The Navajo people continue to live in the region, maintaining cultural traditions, language, and historical sites. The valley also became widely recognized through Hollywood films, television shows, and advertisements, such as Forrest Gump and 2001: A Space Odyssey. Two of the most famous formations in the park are the West and East Mitten Buttes. These twin rock formations, resembling giant mittens, stand approximately 300 meters tall. Their unique shape is the result of differential erosion, with harder rock layers resisting weathering while softer layers wear away over time. The formations are composed primarily of Dechelli sandstone, which dates back to the Permian period, around 250 million years ago. The names the Navajo people use to refer to the rock formations literally translate as black streak wood and rock with hole. They are often used as navigational landmarks and hold cultural importance in Navajo storytelling and traditions. Another notable location within the park is Forrest Gump Point, named after its appearance in the 1994 film Forrest Gump. This highway viewpoint is where the character Forrest Gump ended his cross-country run in the classic film. Highway 163, where Forrest Gump Point is located, is part of the Trail of the Ancient Scenic Byway. This route passes through areas with significant archaeological and cultural history, including ancient Puebloan sites and Navajo landmarks. The spot has become a popular tourist attraction, with visitors often stopping to take photos recreating the famous scene from the movie. However, the road is still used by both local and commercial vehicles, so it's important for visitors to stay alert and avoid lingering on the road for extended periods. Coral pink sand dunes. State Park features shifting sand dunes that serve as the perfect landscape for off-roading and photography. The unique colour of the sand comes from iron oxide, which gives it a distinct pinkish-orange hue, and the dunes are estimated to be between 10,000 and 15,000 years old. The dunes are constantly shifting, with some areas moving up to 50 feet per year, causing older dunes to be partially buried while new formations emerge. The Cliff Palace of Mesa Verde National Park is the largest cliff dwelling in North America, constructed by the ancestral Puebloans between 1190 and 1260 CE. Built into a natural alcove in the sandstone cliffs, it was home to around 100 to 120 people, making it a central hub for the surrounding community. The dwellings were built using sandstone, wooden beams and mortars made from soil, water and ash. The circular rooms, called kivas, are thought to have played a vital role in ceremonies and cultural traditions. Long before this place became a park, ancestral Pueblo people raised and hunted turkeys for food and feathers. Today, wild flocks still roam the forests, but also walk out into sunny clearings to look for food. In spring, male turkeys puff up their feathers, fan out their big tails, and make deep gobbling calls to impress the females. The best gobbler gathers a small group of hens, and after mating, the female lays her eggs on the ground, under the brushes. Each year, new chicks hatch and grow here, helping new flocks stay part of Mesa Verde's wild story. Lake Powell Navajo Tribal Park covers sections of canyons and waterways along the Colorado River Basin. The park is known for its deep slot canyons, created by flash floods and wind erosion. Many of these narrow passageways are accessible only by guided routes, preserving both the natural landscape and cultural sites. Upper Antelope Canyon is a world-renowned slot canyon, known for its mesmerizing light beams and smooth sculpted walls. The canyon is about 40 meters deep and has a winding path that narrows in several sections, creating light beams that filter down at certain times of the day. The name in the Navajo language translates to "the place where water runs through rocks," reflecting how flash floods continue to shape its structure. Unlike some slot canyons that require technical climbing, Upper Antelope Canyon is accessible by walking through a flat, sandy floor, making it one of the easier canyons to explore. However, it is still prone to sudden floods, requiring careful monitoring of weather conditions before entry. Lower Antelope Canyon is a narrower and deeper slot canyon compared to the upper section, offering a more adventurous experience. It requires descending through steep, winding rock formations, with metal staircases installed in certain areas to allow access. The canyon is known for its twisting rock formations and narrow passageways, shaped by the same flash flood erosion that formed the upper section. Unlike Upper Antelope Canyon, where light beams enter from above, Lower Antelope Canyon features curved walls that reflect indirect light, creating deep colour shifts throughout the day. The passage through the canyon can be as narrow as 1 metre in some sections, requiring careful navigation. The Black Rock Desert is a large, arid region located in the northwestern part of Nevada. It is most well known for its vast, flat playa, a dry lake bed that is composed of hard-packed clay and silt. The area has a long history of human activity, especially with indigenous tribes such as the Northern Paiute, but was later traversed by settlers during the 19th century as part of the California Trail, a major route for westward migration. Coconino National Forest covers over 7,600 square kilometres, containing mountains, canyons, and forests of pine and aspen. In fact, it is home to ponderosa pine forests, one of the largest continuous stretches of ponderosa pines in the world. These trees are adapted to wildfires, with thick bark that protects them from burning. Periodic fires help clear underbrush, allowing the forest to regenerate. The landscape varies with elevation, ranging from lowland desert areas at 800 metres to mountain peaks rising over 3,800 metres. The area was originally inhabited by indigenous groups, but in the late 19th century, ranchers, loggers and railroad builders moved into the region to use its natural resources for timber, grazing and mining. The Palatki ruins are ancient cliff dwellings built by the Sinagua people between 1,000 and 1,300 years ago. They are located within the red rock cliffs of Coconino National Forest, surrounded by petroglyphs and pictographs that provide evidence of long-term human activity. The name Palatki means red house in the Hopi language, reflecting the colour of the sandstone cliffs. The dwellings were constructed using mud mortar and local rock, with multiple rooms built into the cliffs for shelter, storage, and community gatherings. Courthouse Butte is a massive sandstone formation located in the Red Rock region of Coconino National Forest. Its name comes from its flat-topped rectangular structure, resembling a courthouse building. The butte was shaped by wind, rain and ice, which gradually carved out its vertical walls and jagged edges. The rock layers in the butte contain fossilised marine life, showing that the region was once covered by an ancient inland sea millions of years ago. The Courthouse Butte waterfall is a seasonal waterfall that appears on the rock face after heavy rain or snowmelt. It forms when water flows over the sandstone cliffs of Courthouse Butte, cascading down into the rocky terrain below. The waterfall is not a permanent feature, as the dry desert climate means that water is only present for a few hours to a few days after storms. Mount Garfield stands prominently at more than 2,000 metres in the Book Cliffs range. It is known for its steep trails and panoramic views of the surrounding landscape, including the Grand Valley and Colorado River. The mountain's distinctive appearance is a result of millions of years of geological processes, with layers of sedimentary rock and shale formed during the Cretaceous period. Interestingly, it has a historical connection to agriculture in the region, as early settlers used the mountain as a vantage point to survey the valley below, which later became a centre for fruit orchards and vineyards. The mountain is also famously part of the Colorado National Monument area. Colorado National Monument is known for its dramatic landscape, characterized by towering sandstone cliffs, sheer-walled canyons, impressive rock spires, and deep gorges. It is part of the Colorado Plateau, with rock formations dating back over 200 million years. The area's geology reveals layers of Entrada sandstone, Kayenta Formation, and Wingate sandstone, offering a detailed record of ancient environments. Its history also includes evidence of human activity dating back thousands of years, with petroglyphs and artifacts left by the Fremont and Ute people. Chaco Culture National Historical Park encompasses an area of arid canyonland, centred on the ruins of 12 major ancestral Puebloan structures built between the years 850 to 1150. Pueblo Bonito, the largest great house, contained over 600 rooms and stood 4 to 5 stories tall, aligned to solar and lunar cycles. Its walls used 50 million sandstone blocks, with pine beams hauled from the Chusca Mountains 50 miles away. The Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park is a scenic natural structure characterized by some of the steepest and most rugged cliffs in North America. The canyon features walls that rise over 800 meters, with sections so narrow that sunlight only reaches the canyon floor for a few hours each day. The rock formations in it are also some of the oldest in the region, primarily composed of metamorphic rocks dating back nearly 2 billion years. It is also home to the Painted Wall, which is the tallest cliff in Colorado. The cliff features striking patterns of light-coloured pegmatite veins cutting through the darker rock, which gives it its iconic name. Whitewater Draw Wildlife Area covers approximately 600 hectares, consisting of wetlands, grasslands and desert scrub. Water levels fluctuate throughout the year, so its seasonal floodplains and marshes attract a variety of migratory birds, such as the sandhill crane. Sandhill cranes arrive at Whitewater Draw every winter, with populations exceeding 20,000 birds during peak migration. These cranes are large wading birds, standing over 1.2 metres tall, with wingspans reaching over 2 metres. During the day, the cranes forage for seeds, grains and small invertebrates in nearby fields and marshes. At night they return to the shallow waters of Whitewater Draw, where they stand in groups to avoid predators. They have been migrating through the region for thousands of years, guided by wind patterns and seasonal temperature shifts. Gunlock State Park is centred around Gunlock Reservoir, created by the construction of the dam with the same name in 1970. The reservoir serves as a water storage facility for irrigation and local use, such as boating, fishing, and even swimming. It was named after William Haynes Gunlock, a 19th century pioneer who settled in the area. The Dolores River Canyon cuts through southwest Colorado, shaping rare habitats where riverside plants, fish and birds thrive in an otherwise dry land. The hanging flume still clings to the canyon walls, up to 75 feet above the river, showing how far miners once pushed to find gold in these lands. One of the top hunters in the area is the golden eagle. These big birds love wide canyons, high cliffs and open skies where they can spot prey from far away. Young eagles may wander hundreds of miles before claiming a territory. Once settled, they become very protective of their space, often chasing away other eagles, hawks, or even bigger birds that come too close to their nest or hunting area. These bold hunters will also steal food from other birds if they get the chance, especially in tough winters when hunting is harder. Strong, loyal pairs return year after year, raising new hunters who will soar these cliffs for decades to come. Capital Reef. National Park is characterised by the water pocket fold, historic orchards, and impressive rock formations. The Fremont people lived in the region for over 1,000 years, leaving behind petroglyphs, granaries, and artefacts, providing evidence of farming and seasonal migrations. Later in the late 1800s, settlers established small communities, growing orchards along the Fremont River. Its unique rock layers preserve fossils of ancient marine life, dinosaur tracks, and plant remains from the Triassic and Jurassic periods. Cathedral Valley is a remote section of the park where it remains largely unchanged due to its isolated location and limited development. It is notably full of towering monoliths, like the Temple of the Sun and Moon. The Temple of the Moon and the Temple of the Sun are towering sandstone formations rising from the desert floor. The Temple of the Sun stands over 400 feet tall, while the Temple of the Moon is slightly smaller. Early explorers named these structures for their cathedral-like appearance, and they remain some of the most well-known landmarks in Cathedral Valley. Then there are the Bentonite Hills, located near Cathedral Valley. They are made of soft, clay-rich sediment that swells when wet, causing them to be highly fragile. The hills contain layers of red, purple, blue, and green clay, giving them a distinct multicoloured appearance. They were formed from volcanic ash deposits and later compacted into bentonite clay, which expands and contracts with moisture. In these colourful, changing hills, collared lizards make their home, chasing bugs among the rocks. One of the most colourful reptiles in Capital Reef, it gets its name from the two dark bands around its neck that look like a collar. They don't need much water, getting most of it from the insects they eat. They're easy to spot on warm days when they sit on sunlit rocks to soak up heat. Another river gorge carved by the Snake River is Hell's Canyon, which is even deeper than the famous Grand Canyon. The area is notorious for Class 4 to 5 rapids, including Wild Sheep Rapids, which have overturned boats and claimed lives. The name likely originated from early settlers and miners who found its steep cliffs, rapids, and remoteness unforgiving. One story claims a frustrated explorer scrawled Hell's Canyon on a map after a failed expedition. Though others attribute it to a miner's journal entry describing the terrain as Hell's Own Gorge. In 1975, a plane crashed in the canyon's depths, causing survivors to endure days in the wilderness before rescue. Notably, they have later recounted hearing eerie voices in the wind, a phenomenon locals blame on the canyon's acoustics. Kashakatoué Tent Rocks National Monument features cone-shaped rock formations, its name deriving from the Keresan words meaning white cliffs. Historically, ancestral Puebloans used the area for temporary shelter, leaving pottery shards and tool fragments. Hence, the site is managed by the Cochiti Pueblo today, as they oversee its cultural resource protection. Four Corners Monument marks the intersection of 4 states, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, and Colorado. Established in 1868 through treaties with indigenous nations, the site's original sandstone marker was placed in 1912. A bronze disc set in granite replaced it in 1992, with brass plates denoting state boundaries, with the Navajo Nation managing the site since 2010. Kodachrome Basin State Park contains over 60 sedimentary rock columns, known as sandpipes, ranging from 6 to 170 feet tall. These formations are believed to be the result of ancient geysers that were filled with sediment and hardened over time. The park was named in 1948 after the Kodachrome film brand used by a National Geographic expedition team to capture the park's landscape. The name was chosen due to the intense red, orange and white hues of the sandstone formations, which change in appearance depending on the angle of the sunlight. The park contains evidence of prehistoric life, with fossilised dinosaur tracks, plant imprints, and marine fossils found within its rock layers. Outdoor activities in the park include hiking, horseback riding, and photography, with trails leading through narrow canyons, open deserts, and rock amphitheatres. Established in 1987, El Malpais National Monument spans rugged volcanic terrain, lava flows, and caves. The name translates to the Badlands, referencing its jagged basalt flows. The lava tubes are underground tunnels formed by molten rock draining from cooled surfaces, which include over 20 caves. Big Skylight Cave features a 40-foot wide collapse opening. Tubes maintain 40 degrees Fahrenheit year-round, with ice formations persisting into July. Ice Cave and Bandera Volcano is a collapsed lava tube retaining a 20-foot thick ice layer, temperatures hovering at 31 degrees Fahrenheit. Although it is a dormant cinder cone that stays frozen year-round, its ice cores interestingly reveal pollen from 1,000-year-old plants. Gila Overlook offers views of the Zuni Mountains and lava fields as it lies along the Continental Divide Trail. Originally, Spanish expeditions in the 1500s avoided the area due to impassable terrain, but the Civilian Conservation Corps eventually developed early trails in the 1930s. Today, it has a 0.8-mile trail that climbs 200 vertical feet to the overlook, built in the 1990s using recycled asphalt. Zion National Park features towering sandstone cliffs, deep canyons, and a range of ecosystems. The region has been home to indigenous peoples for at least 8,000 years, including the ancestral Puebloans and Southern Paiutes. In fact, the park was originally called Mukuntuweap National Monument in 1909, named after the indigenous Southern Paiute word meaning straight canyon. It was later renamed Zion in 1919, a term meaning sanctuary or refuge. Summer temperatures in the canyon can exceed 100 degrees Fahrenheit, while in winter, snow often covers the higher elevations. The Narrows is one of the park's most popular slot canyons, formed by the Virgin River. The hike through the Narrows follows the riverbed, requiring visitors to wade or swim through sections of water, depending on seasonal conditions. The canyon walls rise as high but narrow, with some sections limited to only 20 feet wide. Flash floods remain a natural hazard, as heavy rains can quickly fill the canyon with rushing water, and it has no escape routes in many sections. Despite the harsh conditions, hanging gardens grow along the canyon walls. Water seeps through the permeable sandstone, allowing ferns, moss and wildflowers to thrive on the rock face. The red towering cliffs and rock formations found throughout Utah's iconic landscapes are due to iron oxide, while white and yellow layers indicate ancient seabeds. The park's formations are made up of multiple layers of sandstone, each representing different environments from millions of years ago, including ancient dunes, riverbeds, and shallow seas. A species perfectly adapted to the steep cliffs and rocky terrain is the bighorn sheep. These animals have split, rubber-like hooves that allow them to climb near vertical surfaces in search of food and escape from predators. Males, known as rams, grow large curved horns, which they use in dominance battles during mating season. Interestingly, the rings on the horns can be used to estimate their age. Despite their intense battles, bighorn sheep rarely suffer serious head injuries since their skulls have a built-in shock absorption system, protecting their brains from the impact. Today, conservation efforts help maintain a stable population, being recovered after nearly disappearing in the early 1900s due to hunting, disease, and habitat loss. Designated in 2005, Owyhee Wilderness covers the Badlands in the San Juan Basin, featuring rock formations, hoodoos, and fossils. Its Navajo-derived name translates to grey salt, referencing alkali deposits in dried stream beds. The area's fruitland and Kirtland shale layers date to 75 million years ago, preserving late Cretaceous fossils like Pachyrhinosaurus bones and petrified cypress logs. Navajo oral histories describe the area as a source of medicinal plants, though no permanent settlements existed. Canyon de Chelly National Monument is a significant historical and cultural site, known for its deep Navajo history and ancient cliff dwellings. In fact, the canyon has been continuously inhabited for thousands of years by the Navajo people, with many families still living and farming within. The monument is jointly managed by the National Park Service and the Navajo Nation, ensuring the preservation of both the natural and cultural resources. One of the most iconic landmarks within Canyon de Chelly is Spider Rock, a towering sandstone spire that rises approximately 230 meters from the canyon floor. According to Navajo tradition, Spider Rock is the home of Spider Woman, an important figure in Navajo mythology who taught the people weaving and other skills. The monument is also renowned for its well-preserved archaeological sites, including numerous cliff dwellings and petroglyphs created by the ancestral Puebloans, who inhabited the area from around 1500 to 1300 years ago. These ancient structures, built into the canyon walls, provide valuable insights into the lives and culture of the people who lived there. The cliff dwellings include multi-room structures, storage areas, and kivas, which were used for ceremonial purposes. Fort Rock is a large, ring-shaped formation in the high desert of central Oregon. It rises from flat sagebrush plains formed from a volcanic explosion when hot magma met an ancient lake. The result was a tuff ring. Volcanic ash fused together and later carved by wind and water into steep, jagged walls. The Great Basin Desert spans over 190,000 square miles, making it the largest cold desert in North America. Unlike hot deserts, which experience extreme heat year-round, the Great Basin Desert has hot summers and cold winters, with temperatures dropping below freezing in winter and exceeding 100 degrees Fahrenheit in summer. It is classified as a cold desert because most of its moisture comes from snowmelt rather than summer rainfall. The desert is part of the Basin and Range Province, a geological region characterized by alternating mountain ranges and valleys created by tectonic stretching. The Great Basin collared lizard is one of the most recognizable reptiles in the desert, named for the two black bands around its neck that resemble a collar. Unlike many lizards that rely on short bursts of movement, the collared lizard is known for its bipedal running, meaning it can lift its front legs and sprint on its hind legs when escaping predators. In fact, it is one of the fastest lizards in the region, reaching speeds of over 35 miles per hour. During cold months, the collared lizard enters a state of brumation, a form of hibernation where it remains inactive in underground burrows to survive freezing temperatures. Pecos National Historical Park encompasses the remains of a 15th century Pueblo village and a 17th century Spanish mission. The village once housed over 2,000 people in multi-storey adobe structures, some exceeding 4 stories tall. Its strategic location also made it a trade hub between Pueblo farmers and plains tribes, exchanging goods across a 300-mile network. Shoshone Falls on the Snake River is one of the tallest waterfalls in North America, dropping higher than Niagara Falls. In fact, it is often called the Niagara of the West, though its official name honours the Shoshone people who have lived in the region for centuries. Oral histories describe it as a gathering spot for ceremonies and a landmark guiding seasonal movements. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, irrigation projects transformed the surrounding region, using the river's power to support farming. The fall's origins are traced back to volcanic eruptions and catastrophic floods that carved the surrounding canyon. The Blythe intaglios are a group of enormous ancient geoglyphs etched into a remote desert area. These ground drawings, created by scraping away the dark surface soil to reveal lighter soil underneath, depict human figures, animals, and geometric shapes. The site's most iconic drawing is of a human figure with outstretched arms. The intaglios are believed to have been created by indigenous peoples, possibly the Mojave or Quechan tribes, between 450 and 2,000 years ago. Their exact purpose remains unclear, but they are thought to have had cultural, spiritual, or astronomical significance. Despite their large sizes, the geoglyphs were largely unknown to the outside world until the 1930s, when they were spotted from the air. Rhyolite is a ghost town located near Death Valley that was once famously involved in the gold rush. The town's name comes from the rhyolite rock found in the area, which contains gold deposits. Today, the town's well-preserved ruins include the remains of the Cook Bank building and the infamous bottle house, which was constructed from over 50,000 beer and liquor bottles. The Goldwell Open Air Museum, located near the town, features outdoor sculptures and art installations that add a modern twist to the historic site. Snake River Canyon is a deep gorge in southern Idaho and is defined by its steep basalt cliffs. The deep walls reveal layers of rock formed over a long period, showing evidence of the forces that carved it. The canyon has been a natural barrier and a travel route for different groups throughout history. Today, the canyon is a destination for outdoor activities. The steep cliffs attract rock climbers, while trails and overlooks provide views of the landscape. The river running through the canyon continues to support wildlife and recreation. The Snake River is characterized by its powerful currents and hidden whirlpools, which have claimed boats and lives over the years. The river's name stems from a misunderstanding, where early explorers misinterpreted indigenous hand gestures describing fishing with nets, motions they thought resembled a snake. Known for its fierce currents, the river hosts prehistoric sturgeon, some over 10 feet long, dubbed living fossils by biologists. These fish, older than the canyon itself, survived ice ages but now face threats from dams and pollution. Interestingly, the sturgeons most likely contributed to old legends that spoke of a river serpent that drags the unwary underwater. Perrine Bridge spans the Snake River Canyon, connecting communities on either side. It is named after I.B. Perrine, a businessman and farmer whose efforts turned dry land into farmland, changing the economy and landscape. The current structure is known for being a legal, year-round base jumping site, one of the few in the world. Jumpers use parachutes to descend into the canyon, attracting thrill seekers from different places. The bridge is also the location where one of the most famous stunt attempts happened in history. Daredevil stuntman Evel Knievel tried to jump the canyon near this spot using a rocket-powered cycle, though it failed as the parachute deployed too soon and caused him to land short of the other side. The Virgin River Gorge is a deep canyon along Interstate 15, carved by the Virgin River. The river has shaped the landscape over millions of years, cutting through layers of limestone, sandstone, and shale to form cliffs that rise to 500 meters above the canyon floor. Fossils of ancient marine life have been found in some of the exposed rocks of the gorge, showing that the area was once covered by an inland sea. For thousands of years, indigenous groups used the gorge as a travel route, relying on the river's resources for survival. However, the gorge can be dangerous as it is prone to flash floods, especially during heavy rain, when water levels can rise rapidly and sweep through the canyon with little warning. Pilot Rock is a distinct volcanic formation, recognised for its steep, columnar shape, visible from great distances. The rock formed as magma hardened inside an ancient volcano, later exposed by erosion. The indigenous Takelma people referred to this formation with a name that meant stone standing up. Early settlers initially called it Boundary Mountain, but by 1841, during the United States exploring expedition, the formation was renamed Emmons Peak after a naval officer with the expedition. Eventually it became known as Pilot Rock because it served as a guidepost for pioneers travelling north from California on the Applegate Trail. The site attracts climbers drawn to its technical routes, requiring skill to navigate loose rock and sheer faces. Every year, tens of thousands of snow geese migrate through Gunnison Bend Reservoir during their spring migration from February to March. The reservoir serves as a major stopover point for these birds as they travel from wintering grounds in the southern US and Mexico to their breeding areas in Canada and the Arctic tundra. Snow geese are known for their striking white plumage, black-tipped wings, and loud honking calls, though some display a darker, bluish-grey colour, known as the blue morph, which is a genetic variation. At Gunnison Bend, they feed on aquatic plants, grains, and leftover crops from nearby fields, refueling for the next leg of their journey. Their presence also attracts eagles, hawks, and other predatory birds that take advantage of the high concentration of waterfowl. The migration of snow geese has been documented for centuries, with indigenous groups and early explorers noting the massive seasonal movements of these birds. In modern times, wildlife biologists track their migration routes using GPS tagging and aerial surveys to monitor population trends and environmental changes affecting their habitats. Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area spans a river-carved canyon flanked by cliffs and waterfalls. Located along the Oregon-Washington border, the area is recognized for its combination of river, forest, and basalt walls shaped by floods and volcanic activity over time. a landmark landslide referenced in oral histories as the Bridge of the Gods, temporarily blocked the river. Settlers later constructed a highway with stonework viaducts, blending engineering into the cliffs. Unlike many other waterfalls in the gorge, La Tourelle Falls plunges straight down in a single drop, its basalt face streaked with yellow lichen. The columnar basalt behind the water shows clear hexagonal formations, created by slow cooling lava. Red Rock Canyon is a scenic conservation area located west of Las Vegas, defined by its striking red sandstone formations, which date back over 600 million years. The canyon's unique geology includes layers of limestone, shale, and sandstone, with iron oxide giving the rocks their distinctive red colour. Interestingly, it is a popular destination for outdoor activities, offering over 30 miles of hiking trails, ranging from easy walks to strenuous climbs. The canyon is also known for its rock climbing routes, which attract climbers from around the world. The conservation area is managed to protect its natural and cultural resources, as it includes a visitor centre with exhibits on the canyon's geology, history, and wildlife. Additionally, the canyon is also a designated dark sky area, making it a good location for stargazing. The Calico Hills are a prominent feature of the canyon, iconic for their red and white formations that are composed of Aztec sandstone, which was formed from ancient dunes. The hills stretch for several miles and are a popular spot for hiking and rock climbing. The Red Rock Scenic Drive is a 13-mile loop road that provides access to many of the canyon's key features. The drive offers numerous viewpoints and picnic areas, making it a convenient way to explore the area. The road winds through the canyon, passing by the Calico Hills, sandstone cliffs, and desert landscapes. Several trailheads along the road also provide access to hiking routes, including the popular Icebox Canyon and Pine Creek Canyon trails. Flaming Gorge National Recreation Area is named after the red and orange cliffs that reflect the light at sunrise and sunset. The region was carved by the Green River, which continues to shape the landscape through erosion. The gorge is part of the Uinta Mountains, an ancient mountain range composed of Precambrian rock, over 1 billion years old, that preserves fossils from prehistoric marine environments. The gorge supports one of the largest populations of osprey in the region, as they build large stick nests on cliff ledges, dead trees, and man-made platforms along the reservoir. These are large birds of prey, known for their ability to dive feet first into the water to catch fish, using their sharp talons and reversible outer toes to secure their catch. The nesting season lasts from April to September, with pairs returning to the same nesting sites year after year. They then migrate thousands of miles each year, with many travelling to Central and South America during the winter, as they are able to adapt to both freshwater and coastal environments. Hoover Dam is a massive concrete arch gravity dam located on the Colorado River at the border of two states. Completed in 1936, it was constructed during the Great Depression as part of a federal project to provide water storage, flood control, and hydroelectric power to the region. In fact, the dam's hydroelectric power plant generates electricity for millions of people across several states. Its construction required over 3.25 million cubic yards of concrete, making it one of the largest concrete structures of its time. The project employed thousands of workers, many of whom faced challenging conditions, including extreme heat and dangerous work environments. The dam was named after Herbert Hoover, who played a key role in its development as Secretary of Commerce and later as President. Canyonlands National Park is a vast park divided into 4 districts with dramatic canyons, mesas, and rivers. The Colorado and Green Rivers played a major role in shaping the canyons over millions of years. At one point in time, explorers, ranchers, and miners entered the area, drawn by its rugged landscape and mineral resources. Dead Horse Point State Park sits on a 2,000-foot high mesa, offering wide views of the Colorado River below. According to local accounts, cowboys once used the area to corral wild mustangs, blocking off the narrow neck of the mesa with wooden fencing. In fact, its name comes from a story that some horses were left behind and died of exposure, though there is no confirmed historical record of this event. The area is also designated as an international dark sky park, meaning it has minimal light pollution and is a perfect place to stargaze. The dramatic view from Dead Horse Point was used as the final scene in the 1991 movie Thelma and Louise, where the main characters drive off a cliff. False Kiva is a circular stone structure built into an alcove within Canyonlands. While its exact origins remain unclear, it is believed to have been constructed by indigenous peoples. Unlike some protected archaeological sites, False Kiva has no official status as an ancient ruin, leading to debate about its historical significance. The location has drawn interest due to its placement within the rock alcove, offering a view of the surrounding canyon landscape. In southeastern Oregon, right along the Owyhee River, sits Leslie Gulch. The canyon is known for its wild land and dramatic rock shapes that resemble castles, chimneys, and honeycomb caves. Leslie Gulch is named after Hiram Leslie, a ranch worker who was struck by lightning here in the late 1800s. Hidden caves and rocky alcoves along these cliffs once gave shelter to native peoples and early settlers passing through this land. The rock layers here are made of colourful volcanic tuff and ash, shaped by old eruptions millions of years ago. Following the Provo River as it cuts through the Wasatch Mountains is the Provo Canyon, formed by glacial movement and river erosion, creating vertical rock walls and winding river channels. It has historically served as an important travel route for indigenous clans, fur trappers, pioneers, and modern travellers. However, due to its steep cliffs and loose rock, Provo Canyon experiences occasional rock slides and avalanches, especially during the spring thaw. Certain sections of US Highway 189, which runs through the canyon, have been reinforced to prevent damage from falling debris. City of Rocks National Reserve is home to a unique landscape of granite spires and rocky monoliths. Pioneers on the California Trail dubbed it the Silent City after navigating its maze-like formations by moonlight, guided by the glint of quartz veins. It has long since attracted many adventurous rock climbers and hikers, as it offers maze-like paths between boulders and challenging routes on the granite walls. Factory Butte is a dramatic, isolated mesa with a flat summit and steep slopes. The butte is composed of Mancos shale, a greyish, clay-rich rock that formed when the area was covered by an ancient sea. The soft Mancos shale breaks down easily, forming deep gullies and exposed ridges. Its name dates back to the late 1800s, given by early settlers who thought the formation resembled a large factory building. Unlike other mesas and cliffs in the region, the Butte's steep slopes lack vegetation, giving it a stark, otherworldly appearance. Factory Butte has long been an area for off-highway vehicle, OHV riding, drawing riders to its open terrain. Due to concerns about soil erosion and the impact on native plants, restrictions were placed on OHV access in 2006, though designated riding areas remain open. This is the Canyonlands of the American West, a land of hidden wonders and remarkable architectural marvels. Now, if you don't want to miss the most unreal wonders of Rocky Mountains, check out this video.